What is happening in our society? To what extent our society has downgraded itself? Nowadays, it is very difficult for any parent to remain satisfied, remain peaceful about the condition that we have. Anywhere you go, we find that so many kinds of cases of harassment to our young generation, especially the safety and security of our females. The kind of safety mechanisms that we have is not enough. It has been proven time and time and again. There has been many cases of rape. The woman's safety is a very critical aspect of our well-being. Our woman's safety is not that good. Take example of every state. In every state, there are so many cases of rape. Women's safety is getting compromised. Where you go, you will find that there are some cases against women, against their safety, against their well-being. The violence, whether physical or verbal or in any kind of other form, it is there in our society, in our community. So we have to rethink about why this is happening. Such scales. There has been so many cases of girls missing. How they are missing? Who is behind that? What is happening to them? Out of so many cases, some cases are not even reported because we haven't developed trust among our own people to report the cases. We have not given enough confidence to normal man to pursue this legal system. People often are afraid of reporting the issues, tracking that, chasing the police or legal system. Even if the cases are reported, the result is not impressive. So, that is one aspect of having a framework. The other aspect of this issue is about the kind of values that we are having in our society. What kind of message that we are giving to our generation? How can someone do such heinous crime against a woman that they end up doing such brutal thing to our very own women members of our society? How can they think of, how can they execute such thing? From where they are getting such courage? from where they are giving such intention of raping someone and then killing brutally. When I say brutally, then you can understand that what happens to that poor soul, what kind of experience that person go through while experiencing such thing. How many times that person might have asked for help, how many times she prayed that someone can come and help her, how many times she would have asked for that, don't do this, how many times she cried, feel that pain. She might have pleaded many times and don't do this. But we are a society who is quite tolerant. We are used to of tolerating so many things, and we are tolerating these things. What do we do? Some bad incident happens, and what we all do? For few days, we all come out having some candles, having some march. We ask to media to cover this. Media even do cover these things for some days until they get some other issue. They will report, they will show this kind of agitations. But what has happened? What is the outcome of that? Still, there is no progress as such. The number of cases are still there. Unfortunately, these cases are now getting increased because these offenders, they even know that they are living in a community, in a society who is tolerant. Their courage is so high that they're not afraid of police or courts. They're not afraid of anything because the wrong examples are being set. We have not done enough to protect our girls or female members. We have not done enough. If you think that just by some protest we have done our duty, then we should rethink about that. We should have a relook at our current system of reporting such incidents, of taking these incidents to its conclusion, to ensure that each and every corner of our country is safe for girls to walk around freely. We have failed in doing that. Every family, they ask our girls to stay safe, not go here, not go there, come after this time. We, as a family, it's quite understandable because we know that incidents do happen, and we want to protect our children or girls. We don't want them to have these bad incidents. So We ask them to be safe. We always want them to be aware of their surrounding. Though it is always required, even in the safest of the countries. But can we call our country safest? Can we call our country safe? It is far from that at present. Can we call that this area, this road, this much of the path is quite protected by some measure, some system, some technology in place? How much area of our country is protected by technology, by some system in place that our girls can freely roam around without having fear of such bad things? Why can't we do such thing? Why can't we make this as a priority? Why can't we make sure that this much area of a city is now being protected with technology? Why can't we make this such a priority? Why can't we have some sort of app or technology that can be there in each and every mobile, and that can tell all people that this much of area is protected and this much of area is not protected with technology, with tracking? I'm not giving a rigid solution here. I'm just saying one example of some mechanism, something where experts will be able to give their opinion about what can work, what can be a foolproof system. My idea is just to have something in place and notify everybody that this much of area, this much of path, these many roads, this route is now quite safe. We should have that mechanism. So there are multiple factors to think about. One is use of technology. The other is our values. Why don't we raise our boys in such a way that they learn to respect the integrity of other person, may it be girl or boy or anyone? Why can't we tell our children to respect such thing? Because many times we don't set right example while they are in their growing up phase. They have been exposed by so many things. Unfortunately, there are quite a lot of movies or web series or so many things which are easily available to watch without age restrictions as well, that it gives a sense of doing wrong things while appearing as cool. Though it's a debatable thing as to what should be allowed and what should not be allowed, but there has to be some sort of framework that would allow or not allow certain kind of content available to certain age group. Here also, I think we have not done enough. Kind of portrayal to our woman figures, movies that we see, the kind of scenes which are being shown. I'm not talking about being modern here. I'm just talking about how we shown woman as an object. So we need to point it out. If our movies or literature or any kind of media has shown woman as something like an object that can be used, that can be played around. So my concern is about that. I'm not against any kind of modernity or openness or any kind of thing. I'm just saying that if we have shown woman as an object of use, then we have to have a relook on that. As a society, as a community, we need to condemn that because it gives a wrong example to a young mind. A young mind may think that this is a normal thing to do, to harass someone, to disrespect a woman. And likewise, it's a behavioral thing that a young mind can imagine as something which is normal. We have to stop that. We don't have to make such thing as new normals. The problem is that we have made quite a lot of things as new normals now. Uh, the vulgarity has become a new normal. That shouldn't have been the case. We have to make ourselves responsible, accountable as a community, as a society. Why don't we speak when we need to speak? Why don't we raise our voice against any kind of portrayal of woman as an object? Then we have to raise our voice. We can't make these things as new normals. Because of making such things as new normals, we are corrupting the young mind to consider woman as object of play. This shouldn't be a case. In our culture, in our ancient philosophy, we have given woman Mother Durga, Mother Kali. These are divine powers. The feminine figures are respectable. The feminine figures are powerful. We call them as Shakti. So in this culture, the woman has been portrayed as Shakti, as power, not an object of play. We haven't considered woman as an object of consumption for your own pleasure. Any kind of pleasure that comes, it has to be a mutual understanding. It has to be a relation between two people, not as a sick mentality of thinking of woman as an object. What happens between two people happens between them. If that happens out of mutual understanding, then it is their own matter. And as a society, as a community, we shouldn't be portraying not a matter of consumption. Woman is not a consumable thing. We don't belong to that culture who thinks of woman in that way. We have very high regard for our feminine figures of Devi Durga, of Devi Kali, Saraswati, Lakshmi. We have very high regard for them. And these divine figures are full of purity, divinity, full of powers. They have their own functions of giving knowledge, wealth, giving wisdom, protection. They are considered as even higher powers than devas. So, our culture is not a culture of treating women as inferior beings. Women for us are never inferior. They are for us equals. It's not just it's not a matter of comparing who is inferior, who is superior. Woman for us is like without woman, no creation can happen. So woman for us is like creator who gives birth to a man also. So for us, woman is uh, high regard, and we consider a feminine figure in such a way that a feminine figure can be our mother, a feminine figure can be our better half, a feminine figure can be our daughter, and all these roles that a woman plays in our life, we consider our life blessed. We take pride in associating ourselves with a woman, a feminine figure in our family, may it be our mother or sister or daughter. But when in this culture we see such growing trends of rape, every heart bleeds. Believe me, our hearts bleed when we see such cases of brutal rape and violence against women. We don't belong to such practices. Our culture is not that. It has to be something alien. It is not our culture. We are not part of that. So when we see this kind of thing coming in our own society or own community, we get shocked and we wonder that why these things are becoming so normal nowadays. Why the violence against women, why the heinous crime against women, why our women cannot be protected, why can't we have a system which is foolproof. So these things actually are bothering. These things are bothering to almost every family. So when these things are bothering to every family, then what we have done to ensure that such things are not easy to do things. Make their life difficult. Have a system that can stop this. Have a system that can make happening of such incidents very, very difficult. Use of technology. Why can't we imbibe the right values in our young generation? Why don't we have awareness programs? Why don't we talk to our people about this? Have a common conclusion. Why can't we do that? Why every year we see some protest for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, 10 days? After that, everything is gone. Nothing happens after that. So let us not make this as a new norm. Let us all get united. I want you to give your suggestions, comment, reflect on this, write mail, what we can do, how we should go about this, why we have felt like this, what is wrong with our community, what we can do to improve on this, how we can ensure the safety and well-being of our people, of our young girls, how we can ensure their safety. Why can't we have a separate budget for this? Why can't there be a budget, a dedicated budget to have a provision that such incidents become next to impossible through the use of technology? Why can't this budget be a priority? And why can't there be a lot of expenditure in this budget? Why this is not a priority? If you agree with me, then write, comment, give a suggestion, become the part of this movement where we are having a lot of discussions around these topics. Remember that a single voice is not enough. But if we together become one voice and we don't give up on that, it is not about having a protest for a few days. It is about having a consistent movement to make it a resolution, to have a sankalpa on this and make this sankalpa as a siddhi, as an accomplishment very soon. We need to have a timeline, work on that, reach its conclusion, implement this. Please make the life of our own people simpler, easier. Let them live without having a fear of having such bad things with them. It's not good as a society. We can reduce budget from some other things and increase budget on these things. Only if we make this as a priority, then this all can happen. So please comment, reflect, and give your own suggestions. So apart from having some measures around it, some provisions, also having some awareness around the values among people. Don't make this as new norm. Don't make a woman as an object of consumption. Give a name calling to all kind of movies, all kind of literature who look at women that way. So we need to do our part. Let us do it together.
Asatuma Sadgamaya